Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today for your Sunday series, it's going to be a best of 5 between Zest and TY, starting here on Ephemeron, the latter edition. Top left-hand corner is the blue Protoss player Zest, and in the bottom right it is the red Terran player TY. Alright, so best of 5 from Katowice 2020, the qualification rounds. ESL released the replays for these rounds, and there are a lot of great games, you guys. Man, Katowice hasn't even officially started yet, according to Wikipedia, and is already generating amazing games. Alright, so PvP. Pro tip for Protoss players. Get splash damage. Lower level games, in case you are not watching them on my channel, sometimes feature like Stalker Immortal versus Bio. That doesn't work. Charge Lot doesn't work all by itself. Charge Lot Void Ray especially doesn't work because there is no splash damage in your compositions. Right? Right. Are we... That's too fast. Felt a little bit slow for a second. I'm second guessing myself. Anywho, bottom line, you want Storm, you want Colossus, you want Disruptors, you want any number of things that do splash damage. Those are the three big ones though. Are they the only ones actually that do splash? Yes. Any three of those. Colossus are pretty popular these days. Storm is never wrong, honestly. Storm is never a bad answer. If you just want to get Storm in every one of your matchups of all time as Protoss, you can. It's never going to be bad. I don't think it will ever be bad. It's splash damage that affects air and ground. Like, how can it be bad? Against anything, really. Maybe if your opponent's meching you, Storm isn't going to be that good. But even then, I mean, having some Storm versus Hellbats or versus clumped up tanks, if you get close enough to get a Storm off, is not going to be bad. Anyway, both players are scouting quite admirably. Both players are going for very standard 1 racks, 1 gate style openings. Doesn't get interesting until we see what the Protoss player is tossing up after the Cybercore finishes, and by golly, it's done. Hey, did you want to watch Falcon Cast 2v2 live professional stuff in StarCraft 2? Because if you did, you missed it. It was last week. On Saturday, I cast with Laughin' Games out on africatv.com/laughingames a 2v2 Africa World Tournament. It was 2 best of 5s and then a best of 7 finals. It was about 3 or 4 hours. It was incredible stuff. 2v2 teams featuring BCQT. We had Max Packs in there. The 15-year-old Phenom was involved. We had a Laser and Clem. The other team was, as a proxy star report is coming up from TY, Harstum. And then who was his Soul? Harstum and Soul. By golly. That's some elite level play for sure. Anyway, Adept comes in and, oh my gosh, are you kidding? Delays the command center by like a hit point. 1 hit point, guys. Look, it's done now. That was like half a second. Half a second on the pause and it got delayed, and that's annoying. Anyway, I have to imagine it's going to be Banshees. I don't know what else you'd make over here. Maybe a Liberator would be good, though. Oh, a Medevac. Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't just build a Medevac inside your main base. I guess maybe the Medevac is here faster, and then the Hellion can get picked up and get over here faster. I mean, what it comes down to in these matches is it's all about just little increments of time, right? Little 5-second differences that make the difference in a win and a loss in a game like this against 2 elite Korean players who are just stupid good at the game, have been playing at a high level every day for years now. Yeah, alright, fair enough. So if you made this back home, then the Medevac has to fly up and then pick the guys, and boy, these Stalkers are kind of ready for this, though. So, Zest is absolutely 100% prepared. How did he know? I mean, in fairness, it's going to be a Widowmine drop or something at some point, right? That's how Terran opens these up, is Widowmine drop is a thing. Oh, one of the Hellions dies just for no reason. 4 Hellions into the main base. Good split on the probes. Really good split on the probes. I mean, we're going to lose some, because if you got 4 Hellions just YOLOing inside your main base, you're going to lose some probes. But 9 is a lot better than, like, 15. And 2 of the Hellions die, which is a problem for TY. Is that a good trade? 10 probes for a couple Hellions? Probably, and another one died down there too, right? Yeah, so 3 Hellions down for 10 probes. I don't know. It slows down the Protoss, but he does have Chrono Boost, and he will take the lead in the worker count here fairly soon. But again, there are mules on the other side of the map, and that helps balance the economy on the other way. So I think we're okay. I think we're fine. Look who's making Colossus, though. Zest is. Zest is making Dem Colossus. Working on robotics base. Speed for War Prisms. Really good upgrade to have if you're trying to be aggressive. And at this stage, okay, now we know what we're doing. That's barracks. We're definitely going bio here from TY. Definitely getting a third command center up. Hellions getting into... Man, that's hard to kill stuff when they're shield batteries, though. I don't think they got any probe kills at all because that shield battery. Shield battery, good unit. How about you? Everything inside the main base. No shield battery here, huh? 3 more probes go down. 4 probes down and another shot that doesn't kill anything. Medevac does manage to just barely escape with 14 HP. Adept's trying to get into the natural base and kill a couple SCVs, but also they're totally dead now, so... I don't know about that trade either. So both players have kind of been tossing trades at each other. Third base warping in from Zest. Loving that. Third CC is done for TY. Upgrading to an orbital command. He'll probably land it over here would be my guess. Observer checking that thing out too. So here comes Zest. He knows the longer the game goes on, the more difficult it is to crack a Terran nut. So he's going to go for the Stalkers. He's got the Colossus out for that range. Now we've got ourselves a Raven in production from TY. For anti-armor missile, potentially, just for detection purposes too. Raven is a good unit. Really good unit. That poor Observer, though. 3 shots from a Viking. It's all it takes. It's all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Engineering Bay coming in for those upgrades on the Marauders, on the Marines. It would honestly just be Marauder tank, except for the fact that there is the potential for... Whoa, this is interesting. Colossus dropping stuff. Not bad. 6 SCVs down. 9. Ah, the clumping! The clumping right there was real scary for a second. But the Viking does help shove the Warp Prism away, and we're okay. Everything's fine. It is the Borderlands skin on these tanks, by the way, which has been really popular. Apparently, look at the animation, the repair animation on that SCV. It's kind of cool. I like it. I mean, it's probably the same darn thing as the harvesting animation, and by golly, it's the exact same one. But it looks fine anyway. Aesthetics are what it's all about. Templar Archives coming in. There's some more splash damage from Zest. Archons. Oh, there are Archons available for Splash 2. Forgot about those guys for a second. A lot of units in StarCraft 2, guys. A lot to keep track of. Doing our best. More of this, but tank fire, though. Hang on. Hang on. Are they unsieging the tanks? Look at just outside the range. It stops all of the mining at the third for just a minute. I mean, Zest has been fantastically harassing here in the last couple of minutes here. SCV's down 16. 14 probes have died. You would feel like Zest has lost more workers, but TY totally has. I think TY put more time into killing Zest's workers, but it's been more effective on Zest's side of the ball. He's got the High Templar hovering as they do. It's the only unit that hovers off the ground like this, right? I mean, yes, obviously you have stuff that flies, but as far as stuff that just kind of hovers off the ground, I guess probes do. Probes hover. You can see the shadow underneath them. And drones hover, and SCVs hover because they have jetpacks. But High Templar hover, and they look cool doing it, and they're not workers. Man, there are a lot of qualifications on that statement. Zest is getting Storm, as you want to do here in a PvT game that gets past the 8-minute mark, is having that Psionic Storm available. And here comes TY. It's got Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, and a Raven. This really feels like something we could have seen in Wings of Liberty, this particular composition out of TY. Which, I mean, that's the thing, is TY is Terran is generally the race that just hasn't changed a whole ton. I mean, obviously we have the Hellbat upgrade, which is new. Obviously we've got Liberators, which are new. But I mean, Marine Marauder Medevac has been good since 2010 and will continue to be good for a long time. It's just never going to be bad. Just the damage output and the mobility you have available with it, both in moving around fast with stim and getting picked up by the Medevacs and running around, is just great. And there's a reason that they're not... Maybe they're not as good as some Terran players would think. It's just because if they were better, they'd be really good. The power scaling on these guys is insane. They can already drop on top of a base and wipe it out with 1 stim in about 3 seconds, which is really hard to stop. As long as they have the map awareness for it and try to shut it down before it happens, you're gonna be okay with it. But if you don't, you get punished hard. And that's the thing. At the higher levels, the pros are pretty good at having map awareness, pretty good at seeing exactly where the Terran player is, and then they can respond to the attacks before they even land. And then it looks like the Terran player, there's nothing they can do because the map awareness is so good. I don't know. I don't know how you fix it, to be honest, on the Blizzard side of things. Got some Zealots heading on down with their upgraded speed. Got enhanced Shockwave on the way from TY. Here come the Zealots, but there's a bunch of bio here and a couple Ghosts, actually. Ooh, is that the Tron skin? Like that skin. Oh, they take a knee to do the steady targeting. Did I know that? Have I been casting for 5 years now, and I've got 3,000 casts under my belt, plus everything I do for Africa? And I didn't know that Ghosts kneel down when they do steady targeting. You learn something new every day. I firmly believe that. Anyway, 10 minutes in, it's been pretty bloodless. Nobody's lost more than, 1,800 resources thus far. Most of that in workers. Couple bioforces have gone down, but again, those are early warnings that the Protoss is coming, and the Storm is getting launched down. Anti-armor missile catches a bunch of the Stalkers, which is really nice. But this is a largely Stalker composition with one Colossus. The Colossus dies to the tank fire. It gets target fire down. This left side, the Ghosts are trying to fight. We've got Disruptors in play too. This is absolute chaos right now. Wow. It's a lot of Vikings that aren't going to do a whole lot here just because the one Colossus is gone. And they've sort of lost their purpose. Did you see how that Archon was green? Now, I don't know if you have enough Immortals to do this. Maybe you have enough Immortals to do this. Oh my gosh, they got it. And the army was coming up the backside to try to stop it. The SCVs were repairing, but they're all dead now too. SCV count is plummeting. 17 down. And TY is down under 60 workers at this stage. And he's on 3 bases while Zest is on 4. This looks really bad. It was a scrappy defense from TY. He manages to stay alive, but he loses a base in the process. He's now up to 10,000 resources lost. That was incredibly damaging for him. He was at 1,800, and now he's at 10,000. Just the sheer number of Marines and Marauders that died there, just the sheer number of, SCVs that went down, and that command center, which is not cheap. Zest is working on +3/+3. Same story for TY. Upgrade timings are about the same. Yeah, there's your 3/3. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, is it going to be Disruptors? I'm just not a huge fan of Disruptor versus Terran. Because the way Terran handles Disruptors is they split, which they've been doing versus since Banelings were a thing in 2010. So any Terran player worth his salt has been splitting effectively against splash damage like that for a very long time. So I don't know. I mean, it's just I rarely see incredible Disruptor hits against Bio and PvT. At the lower levels, yes. Not at the professional levels, though, because they just know what they're doing. It's one of those things that look really good at the lower levels, but once you get into the higher levels, it seems incredibly bad. Marching in again. A couple tanks and a couple Liberators by themselves, not great. The Storm is zoning out a lot of this bio. The Charge Lots are doing the same thing. The Vikings, again, utterly useless in this battle. Feedback's getting tossed down on some of the medevacs. Zest not moving into this, but he recognizes I don't have splash damage. Oh, hang on, there's a Disruptor. There's a Disruptor ready to go. And it does get killed before the Nova explodes. Really nicely target fired there, but Army Supplies 79 to 56. There's the splash damage. There's the beautiful Storm. The Marauders are standing in and fighting. A Nova does catch a Marauder, but again, it's not fantastic. Blinking forward. Good game. Zest gets the win. You know a Protoss player is about to win when they blink forward like that. That is absolutely the telltale sign that they've got this thing in hand, or at least they think they do. We have actually seen Protoss players blink into a situation and then die, and we just kind of misjudged it. Anyway, wow, what a game one that was. I mean, it was a little bit slow at first, but those engagements there, the last couple of minutes were fantastic. 15,000 resources down for TY, ends up losing 7 Ghosts, 66 Marines, 57 SCVs is so many SCVs. And Zest only ever lost those 19 during that first harassment in that first little bit. 1 Colossus dies. And again, I think TY overmade Vikings. I really do. He was expecting a lot of Colossus. Nope. Definitely not. Also, did he even get extended thermal lens? Didn't even get extended thermal lens. I think that was a feint. I think he made the Colossus, knew that TY would assume there were a bunch of them, and then there was 1. And when it died, he never even replaced it. Went in for a lot of Storm, went in for a lot of Disruptors, a ton of Charge Lots. Had 8 at the end of the game, made 38 throughout the match. And then just kind of pushed in with overwhelming numbers, a little bit of splash, and got the win in game number 1. Fantastic. A fantastic display. out of Zest. He's usually more patient than this. I'm very interested to see why he's this aggressive. But I guess it's more of a Zest thing. Zest against Zerg thing, you know? Anyway, let's go ahead and check out game number 2. We'll be right back. We find ourselves on Simulacrum for game number 2. I think I said that right this time. It's been a long journey. Bottom right is TY. Top left again is Zest. This is a fairly large map. Not as large as some, not as small as others. Kind of a medium-sized, average-sized map. Without many distinguishing features, right? No watchtowers, got some destructible debris, but I don't know. No gold bases, just kind of a basic map. Not visually stunning at all either, so If you listen to the Falcon Paladin Hour, it is a weekly podcast with myself and Somicron, an Australian. We talk about StarCraft 2. We make bets on StarCraft 2 tournaments. We should actually going to be doing that for Katowice here sooner rather than later. The loser has to do stuff like learn a Disney princess song and sing it on the pod, or watch an entirely terrible episode of an anime show. Which, pretty good punishments, I gotta say. But yeah, check it out. Just search Falcon Paladin on your podcast app. You can find it anywhere that you get your podcasts, whether it is Apple, whether it is Android, whether it's a Windows phone, whether it's just on a browser, on your internet-connected device, you can find us and listen for free. I mentioned for free. I think I mentioned for free. SCV scouting in. We got a pro blocking the expansion on the other side. Maybe the most interesting thing on this map is the fact that there is a circle of caution tape running around the natural expansion. Otherwise, man, no shenanigans, no attempt at a cannon rush or anything. They got a Reaper this time, though. We didn't get a Reaper in game 1. The Reaper's name is, let's see, Neo the One. Neo, learn to use guns, karate, flight, and blowing up robots with his mind powers. That's a skill. While in the Matrix, he thought he had killed himself to save humanity and the machines from Agent Smith, but it turns out both the Matrix and the real world were both elaborate training simulations for the Reaper program. No one tell him that the StarCraft world is also just in a computer. Man, how... Turtles all the way down, man. How incredible would that be for you to be like, yeah, I escaped the simulation, and then you're in another simulation, and then you're like, I escaped the simulation again, and it's another simulation. And what point do you just give up? Do you just stop trying to get out? Is it like 4? Is it like 10? I don't know. Depth shows up, and the Reaper's like, I gotta bail, sorry, but the command center is done, and that's all that really matters. The SCV is not getting inside the house in time, has to sacrifice his life, can't turn himself into a spore, that's for sure. And then Hellions pop. And the SCV dies anyway. So, alright, Adept versus Hellions. And Reaper. Oh, it got out. That sucks. That totally sucked. With 6 HP, I thought for sure it would die. Anyway, Zest is doing a proxy Oracle. So the Oracle's name is a Protoss Plague Patient. The Protoss are said to be immune to all diseases, incapable of falling to the weakness of sickness. This is a bald-faced lie. Any Protoss who so much as sneezes are stuffed into Oracles, so they die, and the outbreak is contained. That's one way to manage illness in your society. Kill everyone who sneezes. Brilliant. So, Protoss Plague Patient over here. There is no anti-air at all. Goodbye, all of the SCVs. I mean, there's a Widow Mine, which is nice. Look at the healing powers versus the destructive power. Oh, the repair on the mine. The repair on the Widow Mine is sick. What a play. More Widow Mines out, and the Oracle has to get out of here, but not bad. Not bad at all. 5 kills on that. Not too shabby. Showed up way sooner than TY expected it to because Proxy Stargate. Oh, yeah. The proxies are problematic. Alright, so Widow Mine drop on the follow-up. We use Widow Mines defensively. Let's use them offensively now. How's about it? Third Nexus warping in from Zest. Third CC in production. Actually, no. TY doesn't have one yet. He's planning on doing one. I don't know where it is. Where the heck did that medevac go? Did you die? What the heck? I went back home for 2 seconds. Did it just go back? What? Hermit. Did he just dump? What? He's not even going for a drop? Okay, I guess he's just dumping Widow Mines in different places then, defensively, after all. Huh, thought for sure that was going to be an attempt, but I mean, the problem is, Phoenix are here. And it's difficult to get a Widow Mine drop down when there are Phoenix. They lift and kill those Widow Mines so effectively. And they're killing your medevac the whole time. And yeah, TY had a suspicion there's a Stargate up this way. Phoenix cruising on in, and that probe made it, you know, everybody knows everything's cool now because the probe advanced scouting. Revelation tossed down on the tanks just so you know where they are. And then are you brave enough to go in? He's really worried about Widow Mines. You can tell by the way that he's cautiously wandering his way in. That's hilarious. Widow Mine drop, cruise it in. And that's the lift, that's the kill. Widow Mines get a couple shots off. 7 probes have gone down, but everything Terran dies here, and I don't know. I'm not sure it was worth it entirely. I'm not a huge fan of Widow Mine drops, but I don't know what else you do against Protoss, really. The Colossus shenanigans were pretty cool. I guess on Zest's side of things. What's a good Terran harassment strategy? Tank, like, man, the tank evacs were a thing. Were they not? Being able to lift fully sieged tanks and drop fully sieged tanks wherever you wanted and they were sieged? That was an era. That was an era in StarCraft. Man, there are no Widow Mines here. There are absolutely no Widow Mines. And TY has successfully mind gamed Zest into not coming in. Look at him hanging out on the edges. He's like, I don't know. There's probably a Widow Mine over here somewhere. Ah. And then he pulls out, so cautious. Again, Zest is a cautious player, though. He's not someone who's going to crash into an army without being absolutely certain he's going to win the battle, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. Overcautiousness can actually lose you games. But third base landing for TY, it's just late. It is so stupid late. Look at this thing. The timing is 7.5 minutes. TY, or Zest rather, has had his third base forever. Oracle's burning off. Okay, burns out all the Marines. SCV's getting massacred here, too. 5 kills on that Oracle. Coming into the main, trying to take down a medevac, trying to kill a Marine. This is kind of annoying stuff out of Zest. TY's like, don't make me stim my Marines. I don't even have stim for them yet. I probably would have tossed it down by now. Oh, these medevacs are in trouble. Enough Marines, though, did stay behind, and Zest's Phoenix decided it's time to pull back just a bit. 6 kills on that one is not bad. 5 kills on the Oracle. Zest is going for Colossus this time, though. He's going for Extended Thermal Lance. More of the mind games in play. Maybe if TY sees a Colossus, he won't assume it's going to be a lot of Colossus, but this time it's going to be a lot of Colossus. 2 are already in production. You don't get Extended Thermal Lance if you only make 2 Colossus. And I would say, so far, so good out of Zest. Having that third base up for as long as he has is really nice. He's up 71 to 63 workers, and I know mules are good, but that's still a good place to be if you're Zest. This barracks, or rather, Stargate is finally going to go down. Been causing problems, just mentally, for TY for a bit now. Oh, look at that scan timing. He scans before Zest throws down the Nexus and catches the whole Nexus. The whole Nexus warp-in process. Incredible stuff. Stalker's being annoying. Dark Shrine coming up from Zest. Really liking that. So yeah, Zest's going to be a 4-basing Protoss here pretty soon. TY happily sitting on 3 bases, working on +2 attack, working on concussive shell. recognizing that Colossus are going to be a threat, and Marauders with Concussive Shell are kind of incredible that way against that particular composition. So yeah, Zest is one of those guys who's very much just like, you know what we're going to do? Just sit back, take 4 bases, maybe try to kill ya. If we can't kill ya, we'll just go home. No need to throw away army on something that doesn't succeed. Kind of an ASMR thing with the Colossus, right? Anyway, the Colossus are here. Lifting the tanks is a problem. This attempt at a 4th command center is going to fail. There's no way you're saving that. Might as well cancel it now or just let it die. That's fine too, I guess. Zealots getting into this mineral line. Ugh, 9 SCVs go down. Again, it's not enough to really kill TY's anything here, but lift and kill on the tanks. One of the Colossus dies, but that's your good game. And Zest is your winner. Shows up with the Colossus. I don't think there were any Vikings at all there. Okay, one. There was 1 Viking there. Again, last game he made like 6 for the 1 Colossus, and then he had 1 Viking for the 3 Colossus in this game. Absolutely just completely got tricked in that situation. That's brutal. That is some brutal stuff. 6,000 resources lost for TY, 3,900 for Zest. I mean, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. Zest is just kind of killing it here, folks. He's harassing well enough. He's defending the harass. He's showing up with compositions that TY has no interest and no ability to really handle. And then losing most of his economy. He's delayed on his expansions. It's just brutal, man. Zest is doing everything he can and everything he needs to win this thing. And he's going to be up 2-2-0 in this best of 5. I mean, is it going to be a 3-0? It could be a 3-0. It could be, you know, anything around the lines of what a best of 5 is. Amazing. All right, let's see. Can TY give us a win? Can he give us 2 wins or possibly 3 wins? I don't know. Stick with it. We're going to be here for a while. It is a Sunday series. We'll be right back. I don't know what it is with these spawn locations, but TY is in the bottom right again, and then Zest is in the top left. Kind of interesting. There's the music. Not sure why it didn't start right away, but there are some mysteries of StarCraft 2 that I haven't quite figured out yet. So let's explore this together. I mean... Forge? No. Because there's not a probe already going out across the map. No cannon rushing. There will be no cannon rushing from Zest. I'm not entirely sure I've actually seen a cannon rush from Zest in all the games I've cast with him. I mean, yeah, it's not a Zerg player where cannon rushing is a little bit more effective than rushing against Terran, just because, you know, the hatcheries can't lift off. Anyway, probe coming in for the scout. Gonna be annoying. SCV comes off. I mean, this is what Protoss does. This is what Terran does. This is a very familiar dance. Do you know there's merch? There's merch at the very easy to remember falconpaladin.store. You can pay for it in any currency you have available in your country. It's really fantastic that way. If there's anything you'd like to see, please let us know in the comments here, and I'll get that passed off to our store people and see what can be done. We cannot get full-size body pillows. That's been often requested. That's not something we can do, unfortunately. But if you want to keep requesting it, you can do so. I'm not going to tell you what to do here. It's just never going to happen. Don't ya know? So falconpaladin.store for all of your Falcon Paladin merchandising needs. Depth on the way from Zest. I really don't know why you do anything else. I guess a Stalker if you were worried about a Reaper. But an Adept does just fine too. So again, Adept is a safe opening here of all the livelong days. And again, if you're trying to get better at StarCraft, one of the best things you can do is learn a build order. Learn this 1-gate expand. Learn the timings on the 1-racks expand. Go to lotv.spawningtool.com. Look under build orders. They're kept up to date in the current meta. New build orders are submitted all the time from pro players. and they will teach you how to play StarCraft. They can't really teach you how to micro, but decision making and how to get maxed out with an army is definitely something they can help you with. I'll never forget the first time I found a little, 7-9 minute roach max that I believe Dark had done, and it's just incredible. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm maxed out at a time I'm never maxed out this early. It's a really nice feeling, to be honest. So keep it happening. What I need to work on still here is, oh nice last second lift there. That was nuts. I really do have to work on how to make a bunch of queens and drone up at the same time, because somehow it seems like a lot of Zerg players can have 7 queens and 60 workers at a certain time, and I'm like, well, I can do one or the other. I can have 60 drones, or I can have 7 queens, because queens are expensive. They're not larva expensive, which is why you make a ton of queens. But they're 150 minerals each, which I know. It's cheap for what they give you. They're incredibly good for Zerg. Defensively, they're good offensively. If you Nidus them across the map, sometimes you can walk them across on some places and really kill stuff. But I'm just saying, that's 3 drones that I can't make economically. So I don't know. I don't know if I need to expand faster. I don't know if I need to maybe take my gas a little bit later than I do. Timings, man. It's all about the timings. Anyway, Robotics Bay coming in from Zest. Where is that? Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Let's see. There it is. Robotics Bay coming in. You can tell by the, okay, you can't actually tell. Just, it's a size thing when you're warping stuff in. Marines ready for a bit of a push. This is aggressive out of TY. What are you? There you go. There's a medevac now. So gonna maybe try to threaten with the Marines a bit, and then that will allow the Hellions some time to get inside the main base and cause some problems. Yeah, at the very least, the Stalkers are aware of this. The Hellions, go ahead, unload. Actually, unloaded outside there problematically. Stalker warps in to try to deal with this, and again, the split is pretty good. Out of Zest, it's not bad. I mean, sure, you're going to lose some units. Yeah, this isn't even as bad as the last time. That's 6 probes. And all the Hellions are dead. Nobody escaped. The Marines weren't there to really do anything. They just pressured a tiny bit. Actually going for Warp Prism speed here before anything else. Really, maybe he wants to finish this thing early. Again, it's a best of 5. If Zest wins this thing, it's a 3-0 sweep of TY, which... boy, did not expect that. Did not expect that at all. Alright, so quick Warp Prism with a couple Stalkers and an Immortal. What an interesting play here from Zest. It's going to have Warp Prism speed, which is going to really help in dodging whatever the heck is here to stop this, which is going to be basically Marines. And, no, there's a Viking. A Viking's on the way, but again, that's what the whole point of Gravitic Drive is you get here before the Viking shows up if you can help it. Also, a Dark Shrine coming up back home from Zest. And that speed is done. Let's get in here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm not sure what the Immortal's for. Like, why? You probably had time, honestly, to make a Colossus, but, perhaps burning down a refinery is not a bad way to go either. So, refinery down, and then you just pick up and get out. 2 SCVs get killed. You don't lose anything. It's not a bad little poke. I'm not going to complain about it at all. Yeah, the Vikings are out now, though, and the Warp Prism shenanigans are pretty much over. But again, slowing down gas income is not bad. Even if it is just temporarily, because TY is extremely capable of replanting that as soon as he needs to. So Dark Shrine up, and I'm pretty sure that has not been scouted. Yeah, so TY doesn't know about the Dark Shrine. DTs can be extremely annoying, especially if your Warp Prism over here is going to warp them in and unload them inside your natural base. And you maybe don't have scans available. So TY has a bigger army supply, as Zest's kind of gone for a little bit of everything here, and it kind of slows down your ability to get a massive army. He's going to show up. Oh, these are DTs, aren't they? These are absolutely DTs. Zest's third base is in a lot of trouble, but Zest got some DTs down here. Where's your scan is the question. He drops one of them in the natural. Going to drop one into the main here, too. Yeah, so that Nexus is down. There's your scan, and the Marauders can handle it eventually. This DT in the natural base having a pretty good time, though. Yeah, pretty good stuff. I mean, this is a ghost town. You cannot mine from the natural base because DTs exist. More DTs doing stuff here in the main. Dude, TY is in a world of hurt. Ugh. He's not really mining from either of these bases. He's finally oversaturated the natural base. That DT ends up getting killed after getting 7 kills, though. Himself. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Taking down these tech labs, some marauders that aren't as easy to produce is kind of genius. War Prism has to escape, has to leave the Dark Templar behind. But yeah, and Tech Lab, again, Tech Labs down are so important. No tanks, no marauders. You just kind of have to go with Marines and Hellions at this point, and Widow Mines, but non-reactored. Oh, this is so good. Going after add-ons. Look at this. Another add-on gonna die. And finally, the scan gets rid of the DTs. Wait. Ah, he's outside the circle. That is so stupidly annoying. Can you oh my gosh, the SCV can out-repair the damage on that refinery. Refinery dies for the 2nd time. I mean, the DTs are causing problems here. This is... TY is not in a healthy position, I gotta say. He's down to 40 workers. I mean, Zest isn't exactly killing it economically either. He did lose his 3rd. So that slows him down too. That is the one saving grace from TY, is that he did manage to kill the 3rd of Zest. And now Zest is going for the Colossus. He's going for the charge. He's going for the kill that he's been going for a while today. It's kind of been his hammer, is the Colossus Stalker charge lot style death ball. That 3rd orbital command is just, it's on fire. It's getting repaired. TY's 3rd base just doesn't exist at this point. He's going to try to get up here and maybe cancel the 3rd base of Zest again. That's something he kind of has to do. It's a bit of a desperation time for him, and doing it now before extended thermal lance is done would be pretty nice. But you know what? Once you move out, Zest is just going to be here ready to kind of kill whatever he can. That supply depot is getting repaired. Look at that. Look at that repair out of TY. Fantastic. So 3rd base by Zest warps in. It's getting probed up quite nicely. TY's 3rd base gets repaired to a point where it's not on fire anymore and is defended by tanks and whatnot. So it's 49 to 50 workers. TY somehow actually has a lead here. Despite losing 14 SCVs, I guess Zest has lost 18 probes. That's a lot more probes than I expected him to lose. I guess that attack at the 3rd base was a problem. The Hellions, it all adds up. It all adds up in the end. Man, TY needs to hold on to this 3rd. This is where he's been in trouble in the first couple of games. Is can he hold this style of an attack with Immortals, with Charge Lots, with Disruptors, and Colossus especially? Oh, the Novas! Tank down. Can Nova from so far away. Again, it's a hit-and-miss ability. It's a hit-and-miss unit. We've seen it referred to as the when you're behind, get Disruptor style unit. Zest is ahead, though. I mean, at the very least, he's not behind. I guess technically he's behind in workers, and he's behind in army. And he's behind in overall total supply. I don't really understand. Maybe a lot of his micro was heading out, trying to make stuff happen inside the main and the natural base, and his macro might have slipped a bit. I don't know. I don't rightly know. It's got to be a nice experience, right? You're standing there, you're kind of injured from taking some drugs earlier in the day, and then a medevac flies over and just a gentle healing beam just surrounds you and you feel so much better. It's got to be nice, right? I wonder if you can buy that as a civilian in this world. Like you're injured and then a medevac just flies to your location and heals you? That sounds awesome. Oh crap, nice scouting though. Dude, War Prism is gone. That's an unload and a run. And a recall, actually. He's worried about getting scanned and killed, so they have to get out. Wow, good play from TY. That could have been really annoying. That said, he's got army defending the 3rd base. It's not like it's going to be a huge thing. Look at this Zealot be faster than this Marine. Well, at least until he gets slowed by Concussive Shell, in which case he's not faster anymore. So Zest in 12 minutes. He's had 4 bases before in these games already today, this time. I don't know why he's trying to get it. There we go. Marine scouts it instantly. Knows he can't kill the Nexus. Look at this run. Again, it's a race. Oh, never mind. The Zealot went the wrong way. Novas can go through force fields. Another tank down. Zest very, very cautiously making this happen. Both players just kind of posturing here. Nobody really wants to go for it at this stage. TY's fourth is done, and Zest isn't yet. TY is getting economic advantages against his opponent. We haven't seen him be able to get all day today. That bodes well. Really bodes well for him. Zest, on the other hand, goes for Shadow Stride, which is your DT Blink. And, okay. It's kind of memey. Charge lots into the third base. The tank is going to die, but not much else. There's enough bio here. I mean, friendly fire tank hits, that's bad. Friendly fire tank splash on tanks is bad too. But yeah, TY's at 183 supply right now. He's lost less than Zest has. He's up in economy, including mules. His income here is looking pretty fantastic. Gas-wise, he's definitely harvesting more gas than Zest is. Zest sitting here at 63 workers. He's got some zealots ready for a run by into that third base while perhaps pushing at the front. Multi-pronged stuff is kind of how you have to do this game. A lot. Ooh, this is a good drop. This is a really good drop. I'm sure it got saw by that DT, and that's, yes. That's why Zest is heading up north to try to handle it. The unload. But he recognizes not great. Not a great thing. Zealot's trying to get into the third base, but there's enough army left behind by TY that he shoves that out too. So he's done a much better job today. Yeah, that DT knew. He knew he was going to get scanned and killed there in just a second. Shadow Stride is actually almost done. It is one of the longer upgrades in the game. It's pretty good. We've seen players win with it before. Most particularly, there was a Masters level player named Steven. He was the first player I saw to just beat a Terran player at that level with just mass DTs. It was awesome. It was something to behold. I want to say it was Zephyr versus Steven. It's a game that's really stuck with me over the years, even though, I mean, I cast it probably 3 years ago now. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Something like that. Viking count, pretty heavy. Nice EMP toss down there, too. There were some EMPs in the game one I didn't quite recognize. I went back and watched that final battle again. And it was nice. The EMPs were really well played by TY. It wasn't enough to win the game, obviously, but DT's blinking in. You thought you had that? No, you did not. Not even in the least. Tank fire is really what's keeping the Protoss at bay here. I'm really surprised Zest hasn't expanded again, to be honest with you. He's really happy to sit here at 64 workers. He's really happy to work on his 2-2 finishing up right now. His upgrades are later, too. I wonder if he's tired. I mean, 3-3's on the way from TY, and Zest is now just finishing his 2-2. I don't know. The DTs get out of the scan. Zealot, you can't be saved, my friend. You are not permanently invisible like the DT is. There's a lot more training. Observer and observation mode. And here we go. Zest going for it, man. Colossus getting on and instantly dying to the tank fire. Nova's whipping, not hitting much of anything at all, actually. Nova catches a tank, but it's not enough to kill it. The disruptors are all going to die. There's nothing to save them. Nicely done hitting. They're so slow. And army supplies at 60 for Zest now. DTs are a little bit annoying. They're an annoyance. They're not going to win the game right now for Zest. That was a fail, man. That was an absolute whiff of an attack from Zest. The Colossus got nothing done. The Disruptors got nothing done, and they all died. He's finally taking a 5th base here. TY already has a 5th base up and running. Yeah, man, Zest is just not on his game here. I don't know how else to call it, honestly. He's down hugely in army supply. He's now starting Storm at 17 minutes, but it feels like it's too late for that. Observer gets picked out of the sky. Generally, you want that, though. And TY is getting a nuke. Two nukes, actually. This could be interesting. He's getting personal cloaking for his ghosts. I mean, this is just a situation where TY hasn't been able to push out. He is now. But to this point, he's been very defensive. I'm really surprised Zest doesn't have this base, and this base, and this base. I'm really shocked by that. I mean, it's not that it's been a turtle Terran necessarily, but TY just hasn't put together anything this entire game until now. The ghosts are here for EMPs. There you go. EMP on the disruptors, making it easier to chase down and kill later. And TY jumping on it, man. Nova, no. Nova, yes, but good splits. Nova, no on that one either. Nice EMPs. More EMPs getting tossed down all over the place. No nukes attempted. Just the EMPs here. Tanks in great position. DT trying to hack away. Zealots get rid of the low ground ones. High ground tanks doing some work. Can Zest break this contain? It's a bit of a contain and not quite able to do it. Good game, TY. Takes it in 19 minutes and 12 seconds. There's 11 army supply left for Zest. There are 2 stalkers remaining. He's got a decent bank, but he's just not going to be able to remax to the point to get 100 and whatever army supply that he needs to win that match. So nicely done. Good ghost attacks. Great defense. That's really what it was from TY to win that game and force a game number 4 is just incredible defense. He never really lost much. I mean, 32 SCVs is a lot, to be fair, yes. But no command centers died. No orbital commands or planetaries died either. That's a huge, huge deal. And then Zest finally starts expanding, but it's just too late. He doesn't have the economy that he needs. He doesn't really have the number of big ticket items like Splash, like Storm that he would need there. Not enough Colossus, not enough Archons. And TY just patiently able to finally find his point, find his mark, get out there, and win. Fantastic. All right, so let's move into the next game here. Should be really good. TY going to be fighting for his life. Can he force a game number 5? Don't know. Let's find out. Hey, look, we switched it up. TY is in the top right. And Zest is in the bottom left. Top right, TY. And just to make sure, Zest is right here in the bottom left wearing red. It's going to be on Eternal Empire game number 4 here. TY needs to win this game to force a game number 5 in this best of 5 from Katowice 2020, the qualification rounds. So let's see what we get. Let's see where we are today. Any proxies? Nah. Any cannon rushes? Nah. Definitely not. Zest is just so cautious, and maybe too cautious, honestly. That last game, I feel like he should have made the choice to risk taking additional bases, risk he can defend them, and then just get a giant army and a giant bank, and I think he'd been able to crush. What else is going on in the world today? Additionally, what else is happening? I don't know. I think that's really all I have to talk about. I mean, obviously, you can do patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. A lot of people out there. We have fun little bonus casts Fridays and Saturdays. Brood War and StarCraft 2. Ooh, I have a question. Who here also watches the Brood War casts? So I gotta say, I don't think there's much overlap. From what I've seen discussed on my channel and elsewhere, Brood War fans are Brood War, and StarCraft 2 fans are StarCraft 2, and it's very rare to see anybody who loves both. It's weird, man. Anyway, this Reaper's name is the Unknown Disliker. We all know this guy. This jerk has been going to Falcon Paladin's videos for many years and leaving dislikes. Not because the content is bad, but because it makes him feel like a rebel. His need for attention has now led him to enter the game itself. Let's all watch and laugh as he dies with 0 kills. Look, man, it's fine. Shh, a bit of a secret. All engagement, thumbs up, thumbs down, and comments count as engagement for the YouTube algorithm. They're all good for me. So hater comments are fine. Which is not to say you shouldn't get drawn into them because, you know, if you get drawn into them and leave comments, that's also good. Discussion's great. YouTube loves discussion. Anyway, moving on. Let's get out of the realm of algorithms and boring stuff that nobody really cares about. Doesn't have any kills, but also isn't dead. So we'll see how that works out. Also, proxying the Twilight Council down here. Oh, snap. You're going to find this? Dude. Oh, he found it. He found the secret Twilight Council. He knew there was a missing pylon. He knew there was a missing tech structure. He didn't know where it was, and then he found it. Maybe he's trying to make Zest feel like he didn't find it. It's like, oh no, I can't find anything. Please, I hope you don't continue with your strategy of whatever it is. I have no idea what's going on. Don't kill me with it. I kind of like this from TY. I really do. Anyway, Adept defending. We're working on a robotics facility and a gateway. It's going to be a Blink Stalker attack here out of Zest. What is TY capable of doing to stay alive is always the question. Tech Lab, going for a Raven. Again, huge fan of a Raven. Not necessarily going to win you the game, but can turn the tide in those battles that are very close. Knockout armor off of Protoss enemies is really, really nice. Anyway, we're going to watch Blink be researched here for some time. Is the Reaper... He's just holding the Xel'Naga Watchtower. Mr. Unknown Disliker is over here trying to hide, but someone's going to spot him. Someone's going to spot him sooner than later, and then he will be in trouble. And look at this. Probe's holding the other one. That's hilarious. So Adept versus Reaper. Run! Run! He's not going to run. He dead. He's totally dead. Watch this. Called it. So there you go. Nice prediction. Whoever wrote that Reaper name. Well done, well done. If you want to get a Reaper name read on the channel, you can just do so by putting Reaper name and then the name of a Reaper in the comments. You can give it a backstory. You can just have a name. That's fine too. We also obviously name oracles same way there in case you're wondering. It's going to be Zest going for the Robotics Bay. Probably again Disruptor and Colossus. Seems like he loves both of those units. Hallucinated Phoenix. Really getting pursued by these Marines. He really wants to make sure he gets out of here. Scouting is nice. Hallucinated Phoenix for Scout. Nigh impossible to stop as it gets killed. But I mean, that was a perfect scout. He saw everything that's coming in. Saw it's a ton of barracks. It's not going to be mech. We're not going to see Thors or anything crazy like that. Definitely tanks, but also definitely Marines, Marauders, Stim, etc. 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 Zest does have a forge coming up. And he's got some Blink Stalkers, but this is not an all-in. I mean, he's got 3 bases. He's working on Colossus. This is going to be annoying for TY, but this is not intended to win. We haven't really seen a straight-up giant Blink Stalker attempt at winning in a while. I feel like it used to be all over the place, especially in Heart of the Swarm. You'd show up with a ton of Stalkers, blink just right on top of the Terran army. They'd have a bunker and try to stop it, and it wouldn't work. I don't know what they did. I don't know what Terran figured out to basically stop this from being a viable strategy. I really don't. Oh my gosh, blinking on that tank would be so good. Free Immortal, though. Oh gosh, Free Immortal. Okay, well, Free Immortal, good for Terran. Blink Stalker's got, like, maybe a Widow Mine, a couple Marines, you know, as you do. Not the best trades in the world, and then forced to recall out. Meanwhile, Auto Turret Harass over here at the natural base does get 3 probes killed. And the Stalkers actually kill it because they really need to mine from this location. And as long as it exists, mining is not going to happen. TY's at 62 army supply to 38. It's looking good. It is looking good for our Terran buddy, at the very least, to kill this 3rd base. It is basically Stalkers and 1 Colossus. I don't know about this. Okay, the Widow Mine's dying, accomplishing nothing is not great. Let's try to avoid that happening. Tank setting up in siege mode out of range of anything is also not super good. Not the best. Extended Thermal Lance isn't here. TY showing a bit of timing where the Colossus isn't going to have range quite yet. Oh, and then the Hallucinated Phoenix takes the hit. Oh, what a play. What a play from Zest. And TY, he wanted it. He wanted this base, but he not going to get it. Medivacs coming in. Marines, Marauders, Widow Mines. Wow, Zest is like, I can handle this. How about all you Widow Mines just die? And you get out of my neighborhood. TY just fleeing. Zest is able to hold on to 3 bases. Third base of TY is almost done. Zest is up to 69 probes to 53 SCVs here. Nothing really new to report on, right? We're going for charge, getting Vikings, going for Gravitic Drive here again. Making a ton of warp gates. And Zest is taking a 4th. His 4th is almost done. TY has fully saturated his 3rd finally, but again, a little bit late. Zest macro is much crisper in this game. The timings are much better for him. I just don't see this working from TY. I mean, he's got the Vikings that he needs for the Colossus, yes. But he just doesn't have enough of anything else, really. And it's a lot of bio here, but we'll see. Warp Prism actually sneaks on into the main base before the turret comes up. He just goes for it with the Zealots inside the main base. Incredibly annoying stuff. I mean, at the very least here, there you go. They get a refinery. They're going after the orbital command. Zest is trying to attack into the 3rd at the same time, but TY is too smart for that. Nicely done. War Prism goes down. Beautiful play. Colossus coming a little bit late. And you know what? Focusing down the Vikings is a great way to do this thing. Oh, SCVs pulled to defend here. It is not good at all. The Zealots finally get cleaned out inside the main base. Most of the army of TY went over there to deal with it. Mules getting massacred here. Where did the Colossus go? They went home. They didn't like what they saw at all. TY manages to hold on to his 3rd base. He loses 14 SCVs, which is bad. But he's still oversaturated because he needs a 4th base at this stage. Still a little bit oversaturated, even though he lost that many workers, which is nuts. Zealots with that charge. Look how fast they are. They are cross-country champions, you guys. Their jogging speed and endurance is insane. Army supply, 95 to 85 in favor of Zest. He just is warping in more and more Zealots. Again, can't do it with the Warp Prism because the Warp Prism is dead thanks to TY's deft micro abilities. Very, very nicely done. And this is just TY once again on the back foot. This is where he was all in the last game and he won that. So it's not like he's dead. But the base count for Zest is pretty high, which is not ideal. The Viking count is 4 for these 2 Colossus, which is fine. It's really going to be a game of can you kill the Vikings? Nice EMP, though. Can you kill the Vikings before they kill the Colossus? Zealots in here at the natural base. Not great positioning for them, as it turns out. Not that said, so many more SCVs dying here. It is 43 workers for TY. 43 after that massacre. And after the attacks at the 3rd and in the main, Zest is everywhere, man. Nice EMPs getting tossed down. The Vikings are pretty good against the Colossus. Colossus 1 down. Colossus 2 down, but the charge lots are so hard to deal with right now. Blinking forward. Zest has the Stalkers. He's got the +2/+2. Is it enough to win the game? No. He decides to back on out, allows the charge lots to come in. More SCVs dead. It's 33 SCVs now as the Zealot attacking in the natural base, continuing to cause problems for TY here. His economy is not doing great at all. He's on 3 bases, but there's nothing happening at the natural base at this stage of the game. I mean, I don't know that Zest can win this, though. It's not like he's got anything but Zealots and Stalkers, but I guess Okay, well, if there's nothing defending the SCVs at the third base, yeah, Stalkers are going to be just fine, actually. Thanks. Zealots running into the natural again. Zest continually able to go after these absolutely defenseless SCVs. He's not even really making anything else, you guys. He has a bank. He's not warping in anything right now. He's just got Zealots and Stalkers causing problems for TY for days. This is almost BM. What is happening here? No splash damage, no Colossus, just Zealots. He's just going to finish this game off by making nothing but speed lots. And he does! Zest gets the win. TY taps out in 12.5 minutes, and it's a 3-1 victory for Zest. Yeah, that was kind of sad. Boy, that final couple minutes there, once the Colossus were gone and it was essentially just Zealots and Stalkers, I thought, okay, Zest has to go home. He has to recoup his losses. He has to maybe rebuild an army, get some more splash damage out. And he was making another Colossus here. But his army at this point is 19 Zealots and 6 Stalkers. That's it. He's got great upgrades. He's got 2-2, but you know what? So does TY. It's just he's able to be everywhere that TY was not. And he must have killed, how many, 40 SCVs in the last couple of minutes there? I mean, TY knew he was done economically. He was down 3 bases to 4. He was down 28 to 69 total workers. And just, yeah, the fact that Zest was able to win that game without any splash damage at all for the last couple of minutes is a little bit taken me aback a little bit. I didn't expect that to be the final hit, the final blow that actually took down TY in this game. Incredible. So yeah, Zest just on top of his game here today. Just on top of his game. TY struggling mightily. Took a game in there to make it interesting at the very least. But at the end of the day, Zest just making use of all the splash damage units you can get as Protoss. Ton of speed lots here. It really doesn't seem like speed lots have lost any of their utility by losing that 8 damage on charge, a charge hit. They're just so fast. They can be everywhere. They can be here before you know they're there. They can be at the third base. It really seems like Terran players aren't quite prepared for how good Zealots are and how fast they are getting from where they want to be, getting from where they are to where they want to be. Oh, amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. All right. Well, that is going to be it there from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. And you take care of yourself.